Okay, this is going to be very, very quick because, listen, I've heard a lot of the conversations that have taken place over the last few years, and some of those things are coming up again due to recent events. But the bottom line is that there are very real life consequences to not being open and honest about the dangers that Black males present to Black women. And I can only speak for myself, but when many of you say, well, you shouldn't talk about them and you shouldn't talk about the issues that they create for Black women, y'all sound like y'all are coddling and defending those men. There's another situation taking place right now on Twitter where you had a Black woman therapist who simply tweeted that she prefers dealing with women clients. And she pretty much said that, in her opinion, a lot of men have a hard time being honest about the things that they do to contribute to some of the things that they have to come see her about, right? She did not make it race specific, but all of these Black men started accusing her of being anti-Black male. And they pulled up an old tweet of hers from last year where all she said was, protecting Black women means protecting us from Black men. They used that tweet as an excuse to look her up on the internet and find out where she works. And now they're trying to have her fired. I and other divestors have been telling y'all for so long that you need to make sure that your job information is not on the internet. If you have a LinkedIn, it does not need to be publicly searchable. If you have your resume on websites like Indeed, I don't suggest that you use Career Builder because there are a lot of scams on there. But if you have your resume on any of those job boards, make sure it is not publicly searchable. What I suggest is if your resume is on Indeed, don't have your current employer on there. And that way, if somebody finds it, they won't be able to find where you currently work. And then if you apply for jobs on Indeed, attach a current version of your resume with each application that you submit. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing on this woman's profile to suggest that she's a divester, nothing to suggest that she's remotely aligned with any Black woman-centered space. But because she said something that they do not like, they are now trying to snatch that woman's job. I keep telling y'all to move in silence. If for whatever reason you feel like you need to have your information publicly searchable, then there are certain opinions that you do not need to attach to your name and your face. Because even people who are supposedly cool with you will be in your circle to try to find out where you work and try to find out where you live. You do not have to, listen, you don't have to be a divester for them to do that shit to you. You can be a Black woman who is part of that whole anti-divestment crowd. But the minute you say something they don't like, they're going to do the same shit to you. Pull your information off the internet as much as you can. Nobody should be able to Google your name and find out where you currently work. And if you work in any field that requires you to have a state license, do not attach your face or your real name to certain conversations. Keep that shit to yourself. Because I'm going to tell you something. We have seen this happen too many times. It's happened too much for y'all to not know how devious those motherfuckers are. See, they don't have shit. They don't have jobs. They don't have anything to lose, so they don't have any problems taking from you. I'm not contributing to a GoFundMe. I'm not giving money to a Cash App for a woman who had her shit out there in these times. You got to move in silence and you got to think with precision. If you have to be licensed in your field, or if for whatever reason you feel like your career information needs to be publicly searchable, keep certain opinions to yourselves. It's the Hunger Games out here. Motherfuckers really are, like, they're literally all over that woman's Twitter page threatening to take her job. Tomorrow's Monday. They're threatening to contact her employer. Since she's a therapist, she's got a state license. All they have to do is contact the agency that licensed her. I know a lot of y'all feel like you want to be able to express certain thoughts and opinions out loud, but I'm telling you, don't let motherfuckers who have nothing to lose be in the position to take your livelihood simply because they're triggered. When you could go to work, do your job every day, share your opinions with people that you trust, and do it in a way where you don't have to worry about waking up tomorrow and finding out that you don't have a job. Okay? Anyway, y'all have a great Sunday. Situations like this are the reason that for the most part, I don't directly address a lot of the noise that's directed at divestors or me. You know what I'm saying? I know that a comment from my community tab was shared somewhere else, which is fine. It was a public space. But I will tell you this. For those of you who are content creators and you're looking to make your channel a business, you have to understand something. People make comments in community areas and under videos and delete them all the time. Okay? Whoever screenshotted that comment and sent it to old boy is probably whoever was behind that troll account, because that's an account I've never seen on either one of my channels. Okay? Outside of that, y'all be well. Let me look at this real quick. Hi, VM. Hey, Venus. Yep. But really, see, this is the thing that people have to understand. When you put your information out there, it's not doxable. It's not doxing, excuse me. The legal definition of doxing is taking information that is not publicly available and posting it. So when you put your job information on LinkedIn, Career Builder, Indeed, Monster, or any of those other sites, and you click the option to make your resume public, it's now public information. So that's why I just tell people, like, don't put it out there at all. Those are Google's rules. If it's publicly available, you know, that's why I also tell people, like, make sure your stuff isn't on websites like whitepages.com, Fast People Search, True People Search. Make sure as much as you can, people can't find your address and your phone number on those public sites. Now, they might be able to find it on private sites, but if people have to pay to access a website and get your address and your phone number and shit like that, if they have to pay to get it and then they post it, that's doxing. But when you make your information publicly available, the law doesn't consider it doxing. So that's why when that other therapist got fired, she couldn't sue the people that contacted her job because she posted it publicly. Yep, separate emails. That's another good point. Your social media accounts don't need to be linked to your real email address. If you have more than one YouTube account, so for example, I have this channel where I do live streams on, and then my other channel where I just use to promote my blog and do the occasional upload. These two channels have separate email addresses, because that's the other thing. When people try to flag you, if you have more than one channel and each channel is associated with the same email address and people flag one channel down, any channel associated with that email address will also be taken down. But yes, use separate email addresses. If you have an email address that you share with people online, make sure it's a dummy email address that doesn't connect to you. Don't give people a real phone number. Give them a Google Voice number or a number through text now. Because I'm telling you, all she did was say she prefers women clients. And I guess she's got a website or something like that, and she says that she is a therapist specifically for Black people. And then they went into her old tweets and found that tweet from a year ago, and they're using that as a reason to try to get her job. And if they actually contact her employer, she probably will be fired. Especially, I think tweets are time stamped. So if any of the tweets would have been during her working hours, she could possibly get fired. Yep, keep your information private. Don't have it posted anywhere, because I'm telling they're not just doing it to divestors. And honestly, truly divested women don't have our information anywhere. Divested Black women do not have our information publicly searchable when it comes to a job. Now, you do have some people that will use, there was another sector where people were accused of using their security clearances to find people's jobs. But when people do that, you can sue them, you can get them fired, and you can cause them to lose their security clearance. So you have some ways to remedy any losses you experienced if people get your information that way. But if people can Google your name and find your LinkedIn account with your resume, the law says that's not doxing. So just do as much as you can to protect yourselves. But again, if your information is publicly searchable, or if you have any type of state license, do not attach your real name and your face to any opinion that can be viewed as unpopular, because niggas are sensitive as hell. And the first thing they do when they get mad at you is try to find your job. One of my friends sent me some screenshots from this Facebook group she's in, and she got into a back and forth with one of the usual suspects, right? And he admitted that he had looked her up online to try to find her job. And I told her, I was like, see, that's why I tell y'all not to put where you currently work on Facebook and shit like that. Don't do that. And really, you should not be going back and forth with them anyway. Okay, they're not rationally thinking. They're not logical, and they have low IQs. Okay, most of them are mildly retarded. All right, so they can't handle disagreements without wanting to hit below the belt and make sure you're no longer able to work. Because you understand, like that other therapist, I don't know if she was able to keep her license. If they revoked her license to practice, then she's going to have to try to find a job in a completely different field. So just be careful. Hopefully they don't follow through with their threats to have her fired, but I'm assuming that they probably have already started, especially because you have M words in the mix as well. And, they always have to be superwoman to their kings. So unfortunately, this may be a situation just like that girl on TikTok. So just be careful. Okay, be careful, be safe. These are not the times to tell people where you work. I tell people that I do nails. I do nails and hair. That's all the fuck you need to know. Okay? Don't tell people where you work. If people ask you, tell them it's none of your business, or lie to them. Tell them you don't have a job, or tell them you do something that is so low wage that they wouldn't feel the need to try to get you fired. All right? Yep. Intentionally malicious. All right. Happy Sunday. Y'all have a good one. Bye.